In this video, I will demonstrate how CABAM can be used to marry up two documents that are in different parts of the system. Why is this important? Well, processes might have fallen between the cracks and a transaction is stuck, or there could be fraudulent activities, or there could be customers or stakeholders that are not being adequately serviced. So let's take a scenario. So I've got a purchase order with 10 times $100, which is $1,000. We've created that purchase order. When the goods are received at our warehouse, the warehouse manager will check that the PO is correct. 10 items at $100 per item. That's all good. We can tick that off. And then it goes through to the accounts department. And if the accounts department gets an invoice, and on the invoice it's got 10 items at $100, well, that's a tick. However, in some cases you might get an invoice coming through with 11 items at $100. Well, CABAM will flag that for you. Or if you get 10 items at $95, CABAM will flag that as an issue. So let's have a look at this in a little bit more detail. In front of me, I've got a list of purchase orders, and you can see the purchase order amount up here. I've got two amounts over there, and those amounts should be stacking up with the GLVs, but I've also highlighted those, and the amounts are out by one digit. It's difficult to see with the naked eye, but those two amounts don't stack up. So what I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to set up a CABAM test, check that the goods received value matches the value on the purchase order. So we'll tell CABAM to look at the PO amount as well as the GRV amount, and we're going to tell it must be 100% matched, so we're not putting any tolerances in. We're going to save this, and then when we go through to the dashboard and we look at procure to pay, for instance, and we look at receiving goods and services, check the goods received value matches the value on the purchase order. Well, there's two failures. So let's go through to those two failures, and CABAM has identified the exact reason why those two records failed, and they didn't match up between the PO and the GRV.